Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English Experience, your go-to podcast for learning English in a fun, accessible way. I'm Mia.
And I'm Leo. We are so glad you're joining us today. Mia, what exciting topic are we diving into for our A1 English learners today?
Today, Leo, we're tackling a really common and useful topic for anyone learning English, especially at the A1 level. Talking about teachers and classes. It's something everyone can relate to, no matter where you're from.
Absolutely. School, teachers, lessons, these are big parts of our lives. And knowing how to talk about them in English is super helpful, whether you're still a student or just sharing memories with new friends.
Exactly. So let's start with teachers. How can our A1 listeners describe a teacher in simple English? What are some basic words we can use?
Great question, Mia. When we talk about teachers, we often think about their personality or their teaching style. For example, a teacher can be kind, K-I-N-D. A kind teacher is nice and friendly.
Yes, kind is perfect. My favorite teacher in primary school was very kind. She always smiled. Another good word is strict. S-T-R-I-C-T. A strict teacher follows rules very carefully. Maybe they give a lot of homework.
I remember a few strict teachers, but sometimes strict teachers are also very good because they help you learn a lot. Another common one is funny, F-U-N-N-Y. A funny teacher makes jokes and makes the class laugh. That can make learning more enjoyable.
Oh, a funny teacher is the best. What about helpful? H-E-L-P-F-U-L. A helpful teacher explains things clearly and is happy to answer questions. They make sure you understand.
Yes, helpful is essential. So, to recap some adjectives for teachers: kind, strict, funny, and helpful. And the basic sentence structure is simple. My English teacher is kind, or my science teacher is strict.
Perfect. Now, let's move on to classes or subjects. What are some common school subjects our listeners might want to talk about?
Well, there are many. Let's start with the basics. Math, M-A-T-H, for numbers and calculations. Science, S-C-I-E-N-C-E, where you learn about the world, like biology or physics. History, H-I-S-T-O-R-Y, about the past. And of course, English.
Don't forget art, A-R-T, for drawing and painting, and music, M-U-S-I-C. And a favorite for many, P-E, which stands for physical education, where you do sports and exercise.
P-E, always a good one. So how can we describe these classes? We can use similar adjectives as we did for teachers, but adapt it a little. For example, a class can be easy or difficult.
Right. English class is easy for me, or math class is difficult. We can also say a class is interesting, I-N-T-E-R-E-S-T-I-N-G, or boring, B-O-R-I-N-G. My history class was sometimes interesting, but my geography class was often boring, I must admit.
I had the opposite experience, Mia. My geography teacher made it so interesting, with all his stories about different countries. But my chemistry class? That was definitely difficult for me. I often needed extra help. So to say what you like, you can say, my favorite subject is... For me, my favorite subject was PE.
And mine was English. Of course. Now what about some other important words related to classes, like homework? H-O-N-E-W-O-R-K. This is work you do at home for your class.
Yes, and test or exam, T-E-S-T-E-X-A-M. These are assessments to see what you've learned. You might say, I have an English test tomorrow. And then there's lesson, which is a single period of teaching, like an English lesson.
Very useful words. So, we've talked about teachers, kind, strict, funny, helpful. And we've talked about subjects and classes, math, science, history, art, PE, and how they can be easy, difficult, interesting, or boring. We've also mentioned homework, tests, and lessons.
That's a fantastic summary, Mia. Now, for our A1 learners listening, how can they put all this together and practice? Maybe some simple questions they can ask.
Absolutely. The best way to practice is to use it. You can ask someone, "Who is your favorite teacher?" And they might reply, "My favorite teacher is Mr. Smith. He is very funny."
Or you could ask, "What is your favorite subject?" And the answer could be, "My favorite subject is art. It's very interesting."
You can also ask, "Is your math class difficult?" And they might say, "Yes, it's very difficult," or "No, it's easy." These are simple questions and answers that use the vocabulary we just learned.
And remember, it's okay if your answers are short at first. The goal at A1 is to communicate your basic ideas clearly. Don't worry about perfect grammar or long sentences just yet.
That's such a key point, Leo. Just try to use the words. Think about your own school experiences. Who was your favorite teacher? How would you describe them? Was your science class easy or difficult?
Maybe you can even think about your current English class. How would you describe your English teacher? Is your English class interesting? We hope it is.
We certainly hope so. So to wrap up today's A1 lesson, remember that talking about teachers and classes is a great way to share your experiences and learn about others. With a few simple adjectives like kind, funny, strict, or helpful for teachers, and easy, difficult, interesting, or boring for classes, you can say a lot.
And knowing common subjects like math, science, history, and English, plus words like homework and test, gives you a solid foundation. Just practice those simple sentences and questions, and you'll be having conversations in no time.
Exactly. The more you think about these things in English, the more natural it becomes. So give it a try this week. Describe your favorite teacher to a friend, or tell someone about your most interesting class.
That's all for today's Easy English Experience. Thank you for listening and learning with us.
Yes, thank you. Keep practicing, and we'll catch you next time.